with Egypt. We have all these stories and more coming up.
News at 8 with Israel Lai.
A $41 million fund to support 4,000 girls through HHS and pay for the tertiary education of another 2,000 women has been launched. The launch coincided with UN Day of the Girl Child observed on October 11. It is a partnership between Comfort, an NGO focused on girl child education, and multinational financial services company MasterCard.
Hannah Arthur is just one out of many girls forced to drop out of school through no fault of theirs. Orphaned at a very young age, she was adopted by her uncle, a security man whose wife sells bread to support the home. She explains paying her school fees posed a major challenge, and so very often she was sent home for defaulting. She recalls how she had to sit by classmates at Mount Zion Methodist at Nyamransa just so she could share their books with them because she didn't have any for herself.
Because I fear God, I was a contestant for the pulpit season 3 this year. All these things makes me very proud and it gives me an exposure. Eventually, I completed JHS and surprisingly, I had grade 15. And I say to myself, being in a government school having this grade is a great achievement for me. And it's a strive for some of the girls in my community because it's not easy. One day I was in the house, then they said, I've been selected for MasterCard Foundation. So I was very excited because all the suffering has ceased.
Hannah and other girls like her in the 3 regions in the North and Central region have been beneficiaries of education support from Comfort since 1998. According to the NGO, it has paid the fees of more than 130,000 girls over the 14-year period and supplied another 27,000 with school uniforms and other essentials. They add the $41 million fund from the MasterCard Foundation would make an even greater impact.
Today's event marks another very important step in our story, which is the launch of the partnership with MasterCard Foundation. MasterCard has been exceptionally generous in its financial contribution, but equally importantly, shares CAMFED's vision and values.
The Executive Director of Comfort Ghana, Dolores Dixon, explains the objective of the fund.
This is a pioneering program that provides opportunities for girls who are academically talented, yet from economically disadvantaged communities, to access quality and relevant secondary and tertiary education. They will be selected on the basis of their academic achievements and their leadership promise. They would also enter educational institutions that provide the supportive social milieu and quality teaching that would enable them to be able to realize their potential.
A member of the MasterCard Foundation, Professor Florence Adolphine, applauded the work of Comfort, which he says has helped young but needy, brilliant young girls make a mark in society.
In a related development, the United Nations has called on Ghana to pay more attention to girl child education as the world marks International Day of the Girl Child. This year's theme, Innovating for Girls' Education, urges every state to find creative, effective and efficient solutions to involve more girls in the classrooms. According to the UN, for the country's work in educating girls remains unfinished. The United Nations in Ghana is therefore using the International Day of the Girl Child to call attention to the need to increase access to education, especially secondary education to all girls. The statement from the UN noted there is overwhelming evidence that girls' education, especially at the secondary level, is a powerful transformative force for societies and girls themselves. It is the one consistent positive determinant of practically every desired development outcome, from reductions in maternal mortality and fertility, poverty reduction, and equitable growth to social norm change and democratization. Epidemiologist at the School of Agriculture at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Pa Kobna-Turksing, has expressed worry about the wanton disregard for food safety regulations by slaughterhouses in the country. He is therefore calling for a meat inspection law to ensure food safety.
The role of the veterinary services has traditionally extended from the farm to the slaughterhouse, where veterinarians ensure the control and prevention of livestock diseases in the country. Over the years, veterinarians continue to play a role in the surveillance of animal diseases whilst ensuring the safety and sustainability of meat in the country. But there have been calls for proper regulation to be put in place to ensure the safety of food in the country. At the inaugural lecture held in Accra on the theme, The Role of Veterinary Medicine in National Development, Professor Pa Kobna-Turksing stressed the need for policymakers to put in place a meat inspection law to ensure food safety with regards to slaughtering of livestock at slaughterhouses.
I'm aware of the fact that the Veterinary Services Directorate has for many years been trying to come up with this veterinary meat inspection act or law, but this has not seen the light of day. And it is very imperative that as soon as possible, every effort is made to ensure that we have a meat inspection act or law passed in this country to govern meat inspection and food safety in general. You go to abattoirs, you see the water that is used over there, the structures, they leave a lot to be desired. And I think it is high time that the citizens rose up and rejected meat from those areas.
He further called for the protection and proper handling of animals in the country.
Animals do have rights and certain freedoms. And as I said, they should be free from certain fears. They should be provided for in a very good manner. The way sometimes that we handle our animals leaves a lot to be desired. For example, we don't look after our pets well. If an animal is even going to be killed, it is chased round, beaten, tied, and then hit with rocks and all those things. These things are not good. Those animals have feelings, and it's our responsibility to make sure that these animals are cared for. Even if they are going to die, they should die humanely.
Professor Pa Kobna-Turksing entreated pet owners to also seek regular medical attention for their animals to help address the high rate of rabies and pet diseases bedeviling the country. Matilda Womega's report for Joy News.
The Ghana AIDS Commission has in the last 3 years seen a sharp decline in donor funding for its campaigns following the country's elevation to the status of a middle-income economy. The Commission says it is therefore now having to find innovative ways to fund its operations. Officials who appeared before the Public Accounts Committee today explained this is the reason why they are having challenges meeting some of the obligations.
Is the president, the chairman, and the vice chairman, are they aware that critical donors like DFID, Global Fund, GIZ did not provide any funds in 2010? Are they aware?
Provide funds in 2010.
Why didn't they provide funds in 2010?
There are several reasons. We haven't been told exactly, but we have been speculating. One, Ghana attained lower middle income status, and this is a general problem for the whole country. The donors are pulling out gradually. Secondly, the financial crisis in their own country is making it difficult to cough out the cash to support poor countries like Ghana. So those are the two main reasons why the donors are pulling out.
And I'm thinking this issue may have been discussed at the commission level and try to find reasons to these. because it should be a concern to the president, the vice, and all of us in the country. And then you are telling us here that you can only speculate into reasons, which is suggesting to us that this has not even been explored and discussed extensively at the Commission's level. Am I not correct?
Chair, this issue has been discussed several times. The donors and the way they operate, they just get up one morning and tell you we cannot provide funding. They will not give you any reason.
The Public Accounts sitting looked at the Auditor General's report for 2010 on the Ghana AIDS Commission and noticed cases of financial malfeasance. One of such was various payments and dealings recorded without official receipt to show as proof.
We have a lot of items totaling 249,528.06 pesos. You disburse funds or you make payments to entities without official receipts.
I would like to state that we are now in 2013. The Ghana AIDS Commission from 2010 has grown, and a lot of these inefficiencies we've been able to address them. We are now a very efficient organization. So I would like my Director of Finance to speak to the substantive issue. Thank you.
Issues of monies transferred which diverted into different accounts were also captured by the auditor's report.
They will have been prompted. You will have gone there asking, oh, we transferred this 3 weeks ago. We still haven't received your receipt. They will have searched for it. What my colleague was saying, they were waiting for money to do some work.
The money wasn't there.
The money had been put in a different account. And accountants would open accounts for certain specific purposes. So where it went, they may have used that money for that purpose. And the intended amount in this account wasn't coming. So they were still waiting for the AIDS Commission money to undertake that assignment. If it stayed there for 3 months, 6 months, that's the report was silent on.
Officials of the Ghana AIDS Commission couldn't justify the acts and pleaded the Commission to give it some time to organize themselves properly.
A new police command and staff college will soon be established at Winneba in the Central Region to train officers on new global dimensions in policing. This was announced by President John Dramani Mahama at the 45th graduation ceremony held for 190 officers in Accra.
The 190 police cadet officers displayed their newly acquired skills. The officers are made up of 100 males, 90 females with 2 Gambians and 2 Liberians. President John Dramani Mahama commended the Ghana Police Service for their efforts in ensuring peace during and after the Supreme Court verdict.
This new way of policing calls for the focus of all police activity to be geared towards crime prevention rather than marshalling resources for investigation and apprehension of criminals after the damage has already been done. This crime prevention initiative is underpinned by increased police presence, a presence that is affirmed by the high visibility and accessibility of the police on our streets and communities through constant patrols. Government, acting through the Ministry of Interior and the Police Council, keenly monitors developments and challenges in the police service. Government has enhanced the working conditions of our men and women in uniform in the area of manpower needs, remuneration, accommodation, training, and logistics.
President John Dramani Mahama added that his government has provided support to the country's marine police unit in the area of training and logistics.
Plans are afoot to procure aviation platforms to facilitate the rapid response capability of the Ghana Police Service. Government acknowledges the anticipation and proactive nature of our police administration, seeing as I am informed that a new helipad has already been commissioned at the police headquarters even before the aviation assets have arrived. His Excellency, the Vice President, has agreed to chair the new council, which will be inaugurated immediately we receive the advice of the Council of State.
He also promised to ensure the speedy completion of the police hospital redevelopment project.
I'm also pleased to inform you about the establishment of the Police Command and Staff College, which will be situated in Winneba in the Central Region. Police management courses and courses for senior police executives. Participants of these courses will learn executive leadership, strategic management and development, as well as strategic professional policing. Additionally, they will gain a critical understanding of global systems of peace and development.
Meanwhile, the president was honored with a police badge.
We're staying with the presidency, and President John Mahama has reconstituted the boards of the National Service Scheme, the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, and made new appointments to the boards of the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Venture Capital Fund. According to a release from the presidency, Gifty Mahama will chair the board of the National Service Scheme with the following as members: Sylvia Rita Osei, James Fui Fono Patapa, Eric Borte, Isaac Anan Riverson, C.D. Abubakar Musa, and Gladys Abna Ntua. The board of the National Board for Small-Scale Industries as its chair, Peace Judith George, along with other members, namely Erajwa Boahema Christina, Vivian Ankra, Dr. David Percy, Grace Obeng, Carlos De Souza, and Theresa Kunte as members. In the case of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ralph Tufo has been named the chairman. The rest of the members are Grace Marebe, Rita Sraha, Edith Akiwuni, Frank Gamade, Kwesi Amafoyeboa, Mabel Sego, and Ernest Akwe have also been named as new members of the Venture Capital Fund. We have more news coming up. Stay tuned. The Tano South District Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Godfrey Dramina, has blamed environmental degradation in the district on bad farming practices. He also cites continuous cropping, overgrazing, bush burning, misapplication of pesticides and disposal of toxic waste as the other contributing factors to climate change in the area.
Godfrey Dramina made the observation when he addressed more than 100 farmers from Mansin, Breme, and Ohienim Gwasi at a seminar on climate change and sustainable land management practices at Ohienim Gwasi in the Tano South District of the Bono-Ahafo region. Currently, the productivity of most agricultural lands in Ghana is below average, and there are indications the situation would continue to deteriorate due to increasing land degradation, including declining soil fertility and erosion. The situation is no different in the Tano South District of the Bono-Ahafo region, where communities including Ohienim Gwasi, Breme, and Mansin are the worst affected. Land degradation and soil erosion is endemic, affecting all lands, including those under cultivation. The Tano South District Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture noted that his office is trying its best through its 12 extension officers to educate the farmers on how to restore the degraded land using integrated water and soil management as well as sustainable livelihood activities. He therefore advised farmers in the area to adopt good agriculture management practices such as application of organic manure, region, bounding, and agroforestry to help reclaim the land.
Also advise them to go into other areas of production so that they'll be able to sustain the land, to overcome this or to check this climate change.
A research conducted by the organizers of the seminar, Center for Partnership on Rural Improvement Agency in the Tano South District, revealed land degradation and climate change is a major problem for farmers at Ohienim Gwasi, Breme, and Mansin. Solomon Frimpong is the project coordinator for CPR.
We realize that if you come to Ohienim Gwasi, Mansin, and Breme areas, most of there are people here are mostly farmers, and the kind of farming practices that they are engaging themselves in have resulted in a number of degradable areas.
Nesta Kafuya Jomas report.
Despite the fanfare that greeted the passage of the new mental health law, it appears very little has been done by way of implementation. Passed in May last year, it seeks to revamp mental health service delivery and align national strategies to international best practice. Experts at a conference on mental health and well-being here in Accra believe one of the key outcomes of the passage of the law would have to be the constitution of the Mental Health Board to operationalize the activities of the institutions. Yafuso Ajimfi caught up with the chief psychiatrist on the sidelines of the conference.
It is estimated that 1 in every 5 persons may be suffering from mental health conditions. Another 97% of mental health patients, according to the chief psychiatrist at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Akwesi Osei, do not have access to treatment. Currently, Ghana boasts of only 12 psychiatrists assigned to 4 institutions, woefully below the estimated 3,000 the chief psychiatrist says are needed. The 4 institutions, meanwhile, are fraught with deep-seated infrastructural and logistical challenges and can therefore not cater for the teeming number of patients who troop there to seek care.
I will just now, if you look at mental health care in the lens of modern care, I will just put it at 2/10. A low middle income country should have not less than, of our size, should have not less than 150 to 200 psychiatrists, and we have only 12. That is bad.
The situation, he says, has forced many families to either abandon their relatives with mental illness or in many cases dump them at prayer camps at the mercy of prophets and prophetess claiming to have healing powers. Though there has been some restructuring by the Ministry of Health to overhaul the current mental health centers, implementation of the law is still lacking.
For now, we've been laying undue emphasis on institutional care. So it means if a patient requires to be admitted, put him at Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Pantan and Kafur. That situation encourages stigma. We now want to lay emphasis on community care. So we are deinstitutionalizing our mental health care and decentralizing the community, the mental health care, so that we will, wherever you are, your doorsteps, you'll be able to access mental health care.
For the chief psychiatrist, the formation of a board and the establishment of a fund will be the way to strengthen and address the shortfalls of mental health delivery in the country.
Money has been a big bane of mental health care. Now the board will establish a mental health fund, and that will make sure that money is available every time. It will be by government subvention, it will be by either special levy or part of existing levy. Philanthropists can contribute, donors and whatnot. So once we begin to implement the law by the formation of the board, trust me, within 5 years, all our problems will be either completely gone or reduced to the barest minimum.
The conference was in collaboration with the Ghana Mental Health Foundation and the Australian government. It was on the theme Understanding, Inclusion and Stigma Reduction.
Now, there are certain calls that need to be answered promptly. Failure to do so may result in chaos. For many who live in a home with all facilities intact, you may not know what it takes for another person without such facilities to rush from home to answer nature's call. Well, here's a report by Gift Jando Apia, cataloguing what a resident who lives in a home without toilet facilities goes through on a daily basis.
I'm here at an over 30-year-old public toilet, which is most preferred because it is government-owned and highly subsidized. The heat inside is intense, the smell absolutely engulfing. And this is one of many public toilets here in Nema and in other parts of Accra. Earlier, the mayor of Accra has mentioned a phasing out of public toilet, but that is yet to be realized. Interestingly, though, none of the political parties in their manifestos have discussed vigorously the issue of public toilets.
There are 12 rooms in this house located in Nema, a suburb of Accra. Over 60 people live here. The latest addition is 3 weeks old. The amount of food prepared here every day paints no faint picture of the end product, but there is no place of convenience when metabolism ends. With 5 grandchildren now, Auntie Osei has lived here for 20 years. There used to be a toilet facility here, but for the past 15 years, we've had to make do with the public toilets. because our number keeps increasing, and that's put a lot of pressure on the facility. I cannot debunk the use of public toilets, because when we had one here, it was always full, and cesspit workers were very inconsistent. The house was always unkempt and smelly, so we all decided to patronize the public toilets. It's about 5:30 a.m. Whilst preparing her grandchildren for school, nature calls and she responds accordingly. The public toilet close to her house charges 30 pesos, but the government-owned public toilet is about 450 meters away from home. Here, she pays only 5 pesos for a piece of used newspaper and a place to ease herself. The relatively clean atmosphere on the outside of this toilet is no match of what is found inside, where Auntie Osei and her counterparts contend with the immense heat concentrated from years and piles of feces. Splattered human excreta is a common feature in 10 open cubicles, the state of which easily facilitates spread of diseases. After more than 30 years, it is obvious the structure is very weak. Auntie Osei is lucky today. There was no queue here, but if there is, she appeals with her age to be given priority. Besides, she has difficulties marching to the toilet in response to nature's call. The distance between my house and the toilet is wide. We will accept and endorse any government which will collaborate with the landlords in this area to provide toilet facilities in our homes. It will be of an immense help to us. Landlords are yet to be bound by law to provide toilets, so for now, more public toilets are being built. Ibrahim is an attendant.
I've been working here since 2003. 2003, that time, people have been coming here, but this time, people are reducing because people have been opening places and toilets for their area. That's why people have reduced from here, coming here.
Recently, one such toilet at Kaswa in the central region caved in, killing one and injuring 4 others. One of many incidents reflecting the current state of public toilets in Ghana. Patrons like Auntie Osei have no other alternative.
When nature calls. Up next, we bring you business news.
Welcome to Joy Business. My name is Abigail Adumakoinchi. Now, government says it remains optimistic it will meet revenue targets for new tax hikes introduced a few months ago, despite current difficulties with collections, having been able to gross only 25 million Ghana cedis of the 371 million cedis target so far. There are fears the country might not realize this target, especially because of a slowdown in business activities and smuggling at the ports. But Deputy Minister of Finance, Kweku Ricketts-Hagen, tells Joy Business they have instituted measures to collect the revenue. Despite the trickle, he says government expects collections to pick up in the last quarter of the year. The country in August introduced 3 new taxes to address revenue shortfalls. These include the National Stabilization Levy, Customs and Excise, and Special Imports Bill to be soon laid before Parliament. Meanwhile, banks, mining firms, telcos, and other financial institutions will by the end of this month be giving away 5% of their profits as stabilization levy. Joy Business gathers that government is now looking at collecting the tax every 3 months instead of taxing the profits at the end of the year. And Diamond Cement Company and the Ghana Rubber Estates Limited have been rated the best under the Environmental Protection Agency's ACOBEN rankings of companies in the manufacturing sector. The two, per the rating, have satisfied the EPA's legal requirements to operate, environmental compliance and responsiveness to public complaints.
The ACOBEN program is an environmental performance rating and disclosure initiative of the EPA introduced in 1999 to ensure mining and manufacturing companies meet the legal, hazardous or toxic waste management and environmental standards of the agency. Under the ACOBEN initiative, the environmental performance of mining and manufacturing operations is assessed using a 5-color rating scheme ranging from gold, representing excellence, through green, blue, orange, with red being the poorest rating.
If you bring your result
And from my knowledge point of view, I know that if you're a textile factory and you bring it and certain measurements you've brought are ridiculously low, I know that something's gone wrong. So I come to the place, I come and take a sample, I split it into two, give you one, and I take one. You measure, I measure. The data is housed in the US. It gets there, and the prison has been programmed. I mean, it's a computer which has been programmed, and once you now feed the information in, the system has all the quality assurance and quality controls in the system, which will rationalize it, and the ratings will come out.
Diamond Cement and Ghana Rubber Estates Limited were the only 2 of 100 companies rated in the manufacturing sector to have been rated green, suggesting full environmental compliance, best practices and response to public complaints. A number of companies had red, but none attained gold.
Those who have continuously been rated red, we now have to assist them by inviting them formally and gently to seek assistance at the Ghana Cleaner Production Center. They will be assisted to improve on their performance. That is a gentle request, because the next request will be using the raw. Please accept this assistance so that you are not moved to the next level of being prosecuted.
Some companies expressed concerns about how the assessment was done.
We talked about the cost, the frequency at which some of the tests are done. Our concern was if you just cluster all manufacturing companies together, you might miss out some pointers which will benefit some of the manufacturing companies, based on their sizes, based on their turnover, based on the number of employees, based on what they are doing. And it's not too easy to want to cluster everybody and measure everybody against some particular criteria.
Meanwhile, the EPA intends to capture all the other industries, including oil and gas and the hospitality sector, by 2015.
A plan by a major player in the cocoa industry worldwide, Cargill, to take over Archer Daniels Midlands, another dominant company in the business, is giving some industry watchers the chill. Cargill Inc. and Archer Daniels Midland are sorting out the final terms of a deal in which Cargill would buy ADM's cocoa operations. The move should consolidate at least half of the global 4 million ton market in the hands of Cargill and the second company. Under the arrangement, Cargill would take over ADM's cocoa operations right from Ivory Coast to Singapore. The experts fear the deal could hurt the fortunes of many cocoa-growing countries, especially Ghana and Ivory Coast. That's it for business. I'm Abigail Adumakwenchi.
Business was.
Sports is brought to you in association.
Time for the very latest in the world of sports. The Black Stars paid their Asante Henry Otumfuo Osei the second visit at the Menchia Palace for his blessings as they round up preparations for Tuesday's crucial World Cup playoff first leg against Egypt. The visit has become a norm for the national side anytime they play at the Barbera Sports Stadium in Kumasi. Joy Sports cameras were present and captured this.
Minister, na Kwasi, sir, and I mean, and my inquiry Black Star team, no my bedroom, Kumasina, dear Drew has a mecha and Nana, in Ninkuta Honkakra. So, my mind so somewhere giant Ninu and Munina, so Miss Medawa Master. Send there, Pena break a crassy a becha and an hour. Ghana, my team, Nemo. Ghana, my team, animal. Moya Munina, Semunina Ghana, man, Munian Brazil. Ghana maintain a moha. Sabe, Moya Yimunara. Ampa Munian movie Bob, and so you hear Momon and Betty Ghana Mayana. Yes, say Brazil, ewiase nyinara ekwobobo na mo na monfe enko mo na mukra efiri o mampanyin ebesi mo na naso sigana fo nyina so ye ni ye hye mo monsa wo me mba nyinara mo se me kra hye monsa president Ghana man nyina kra hye mo monsa
na omba enso no bia modern boss roye no obia dinkoma na adwen nyina se kwan bia be faso be ko Brazil no ombe faso na ni nyina no be wie peya gise ya bejina na enso enhira eka ho
players no bia ho odin mpom obia ho ye se ekọ campa ekro ye ni bibia no se ne Ghana fo no bia ti camp se ne camp ti no bibia eye fine nti no ya reshim se benada ye be yaba na na fie nko ade aye beji shira ne ahode ne de ye sure se ebedi Egypt for sunkunim nti.
All right, so just for those of you who can make the meaning of all of this, Otumfuo was telling the Black Stars he really expects a good performance from them, and the coach and the captain also saying that they are very happy to play in the land Kumasi. So a lot to expect from that game, but that will not be all. The final round of African qualifying for the World Cup begins this weekend, and matches will represent the first part of 5 two-leg ties involving the 10 group winners from the previous round of qualifying. Here's a preview of the action to unfold this weekend.
And Africa's Big Five will be settled and on their way to the World Cup. The Burkinabe are perhaps the favourites of Africa's neutrals, given their Cinderella performance at AFCON 2013. Known as the Stallions, Paul Putt's men have tried on 6 previous occasions to reach the World Cup finals. They failed on each attempt. The team from the land known as the home of men with dignity will hope to live up to that every inch when they meet Algeria. The Desert Foxes played in the 2010 World Cup for the first time in 24 years. They did so after seeing off Egypt in one of the most tense qualifier matchups in history. While Brazil marked their 4th World Cup experience, this Saturday's clash will have a strong bearing on the answer. To Abidjan we go, where the Côte d'Ivoire have maintained a steady World Cup run since breaking their 76-year drought of appearances in 2006. They narrowly qualified for Germany and breezed into South Africa 2010. All that's left for coach Sabri Lamouchi is to turn the most talented generation of Ivorians into world beaters. The Teranga Lions will be like caged canines, having embarrassed themselves by not reaching the Cup of Nations in 2013. They haven't been to the World Cup since their quarter-final advance in 2002. The current crop of Senegalese players like Demba Ba and Moussa Sarr will want to do it again in Brazil. They first need to get past the continent's powerhouse, the Ivory Coast.
Right, a lot of shine will be taken away from the Ghana Premier League, but there will be 6 games definitely to be honored there. And Hearts of Oak will host struggling Brecum Chelsea in the top line of Week 6 of the Ghana Premier League at the Cross Sports Stadium. The Phobians will be chasing a 5th win, which could see them topple current leaders and defending champions Asante Kotoko. Assistant coach of Accra Hearts of Oak, Benjamin Ajay, says they are ready for Sunday's challenge.
Like I said earlier, we are not chasing any club, but we are getting ourselves ready to win every match, every single match, be it friendly or competitive. That is our focus. And by way of doing that, if we are able to win every match, it means we are going to win honest. He is having problem with the ankle, but I'm not in a position to tell when it's coming, because that is a job of other people to let us know when and where he will be ready. So for now, I can tell you he has been away for 5 months and then he's suffering with ankle problem. It's the same people, crucify him, you see, but it's the same people that when he's performing, they will lift him up. You see, but all that I want to say to the fans is that football, nobody goes and say, I'm going to play nonsense today and come back. I'm going to perform better today. But when the day favors you, whatever you do becomes successful.
All right, so a number of teams have made it to Brazil 2014. Indeed, Belgium has joined the very latest. They beat Croatia by 2-1. Just by updating you in terms of the qualifiers this evening, just right on your screen there. We look at the first one. Armenia beat Bulgaria by 2-1. It's a game that really means nothing to it. And also there, let's just look at it. Italy drew 2-2 with Denmark. Italy already in the World Cup, so nothing really to pick up from there. Now, Germany beat Ireland by 3-0. They booked the ticket and they joined the rest of the teams have qualified. They'll make the number 12 there. Now, Sweden beat Austria by 2-1, so Austria have to wait some more. We look at some of the results. Belgium also qualifying. The Netherlands beat Hungary by 8-1, perfect one for them. And you look at the results. Switzerland also beating Albania by 2-1, so Switzerland also qualifies for Brazil 2040. Portugal also beat Israel right in the scoreline by 1-0. So very important win for Portugal, who are actually in danger of not qualifying. Fantastic results. England is currently leading by 3-1, and the English also have to play well and win some more games to qualify. They're leading Montenegro by 3-1. The game is still ongoing, and I'm sure the prayers will have to go up for the Black Stars, definitely, because we need to beat Egypt first of all here and finish the dose in Cairo and ensure that we definitely qualify for the World Cup. That will be all for sports tonight. My name is George Adi Jr. Do you have a good night? Israel will join us with international news.
Sports was brought to you in association with
Smile. You've got to go.
Fashion is one of the adopted cultures that has come to stay in Ghana, and today marks the beginning of an exciting week for the Ghanaian fashion industry, the Ghana Fashion Week.
In an enclosed space at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, both Ghanaians and foreigners at large came together with their works to mark a new phase of fashion in Ghana during the opening of the Ghana Fashion Week. Joy News caught up with some patrons who told us about their products and how they are enjoying the Fashion Week already.
Beautiful. We're here at Ghana Fashion Week and it's amazing. It's good to meet new people and we're happy to be part of it.
For me, coming here is to get the business and the work out there into the international scene.
I'm into PR. Public relations in general. I know they got a lot of traffic from Ghana, so I just thought it would be a great thing for them to come here during Ghana Fashion and Design Week to be a part of the.
And some Ghanaian fashionistas are of high hopes for the Ghanaian fashion.
That'll be all for Showbiz.
Showbiz was brought to you by